Hey folks, all right, so let's do another project. We have, we're over at Ryan's house. You guys all know him. And we're in California for a couple days, and Ryan has a couple signs he wants to do. And one issue, well, tell us what your biggest issue with making big signs.
So, I like carving big signs, I just hate putting them together. And the biggest thing that I can find, short of buying a live edge piece or something, is only 12 inches. So I want to make two signs for Chad Mendez and Clay Guida. They have a guide service, hunting and fishing guide service. And I met them at the Sportsman's Expo in California a couple weeks ago or something like that. And they saw one of my signs that I had with me. I was giving to someone else, so I want to make them some signs. But I have a real issue with laminating signs. My table saw is like 40 years old, and so is my joiner. So Dad came up and decided to help me get a better system for laminating signs to where it's not such a pain in the butt. And I've been telling him for like 2 years that he needs to do a sign on his prep work to get the boards ready to laminate.
To do a video, you mean?
Yeah, to do a video.
Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. I never really taken you guys into the part of our shop where I have my jointer, the table saw and all that. So we kind of, my goal for this whole video and for this whole, trip was to be able to leave and have Ryan set up to the point where he feels comfortable. He has a setup where he can put big boards together like I've done, on that chloride sign, and I've got another one coming up where I'm putting 2 by 2 inch thick redwood together to make bigger boards. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to head to Lowe's, we're going to get some material, and we'll kind of go through that process of what kind of boards I look for, what we're trying to find, and then we'll come back here and we'll go through the process of laminating up a board, which you guys have seen me do that, but I want to do the actual saw work so you guys can see that part of it. So anyway, guys, stay with us. We'll meet you down at Lowe's. Bye-bye. Hey guys, me and Ryan here at Lowe's in California. You guys might know this. I'm spending a couple days over here, and we got a project that Ryan wants to do. So we are at Lowe's picking out some redwood. So let me turn this camera around, or actually I'll just, let's see, can I turn this camera around? How do I even do that? I don't even know if I can.
No, that just took a picture.
Oh.
What if you do that? No, that don't work either.
That don't work either. So these are boards that we've rejected. Not that they're, you couldn't make decking out of them or something, but for whatever reason, like let's say this top one right here, we're gonna edge laminate a big board up. That is definitely a negative because we lose some width. But then what was the other thing on this?
I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, there was actually, it's a little too white. Oh, that was the big thing. Yeah, see how it's got some red in it, and I don't mind some sapwood in there, but if you go down the board, you see it's got more white than red, and that's just not what we're looking for.
Yeah.
And they actually, I gotta say, here at Lowe's in Modesto, they got a really good selection. So we've been kind of just searching through these boards. These and all of these we rejected. We kind of went through, we rejected them.
You can see a lot of
this one's got, splits and stuff there. It's just, it would be too much work, and we wouldn't net enough material out of it for the signs that we want to make. So the two that we picked were these two. We had to kind of search through them. This one here actually has a bunch of little knots, but all in all, it's a pretty good board. It has this split on the end, but we can trim that out. And then on the back side, I think it's got some surface checks on the back side. So yeah, you can see some checks there, but that's gonna be the back of the sign. We'll just fill those in because they're just, again, surface checks, but it's got a really nice soft grain to it. So that's why we picked that one. Let's lift this other one up here. And then this one, a really nice board. I love the looks of this one. This one is just nice, soft grain. I think this will carve really, really well. It's got, I think it's got a little bit of a split at the end, but we'll definitely, these are 8-footers. We'll definitely be able to get 2 good 3-foot boards out of this. So it's got a really nice look to it. So just want to kind of give you guys an idea of what I look for when I'm picking out material. And then we're going to be going through the process of laminating these up together. So anyway, guys, we'll see you on the next scene. All right, so here we go, guys. We've got our boards cut to length. That was a little tough to kind of film in Ryan's garage over here, but we got 3 different boards. We got 2x4 and 2 by 2x8s. Yeah, 2x8s.
Yeah.
We want about 36 inches is going to be our final length. So we cut them 40 inches, give us a couple inches at either end, and then also a couple inches for when we're running them through the planer, because we're going to do that as well in case we get some snipe, which normally is sandable, but in case there's a little bit of snipe and we need to cut it off. But anyway, we cut them long, which you guys have seen me do many times. I always go longer, so we give it extra 2 inches at either end. So what we're going to do next is we're going to come back and we're going to run one of these through the table saw and get rid of this what I call the easy edge, which is that round over edge. We want a good square edge on there, so we want to cut that off. So we're going to come back with Ryan's $20 table saw, and we're going to cut that off. We'll be right back.
I got the table saw for free, just so you know.
Okay, we'll be right back. Thank you. All right, so I'm just going to rip the edge off of this 2x4, and I've got again, you guys have seen me use this many times on all the surfaces that we're going to use today, on the table saw, the planer, the jointer, paste wax. Ryan hadn't seen this stuff being used before. It works really, really well. Again, you guys have seen me I use this on my router base plates. Anything where you need something to slide, I use this paste wax. It's really good. We just picked this up down at Lowe's. Got the idea from Izzy Swan. So let's fire up this table saw. You guys, I'm not going to use hearing protection.
There you go.
I am going to put on safety glasses. I like a face mask, like it's not face mask, but like a face shield.
Yeah.
I like a face shield. That's what I use when I'm at home, when I'm using the table saw, but we don't have one here. So I'm just going to use safety glasses. So hopefully I can see the saw is right here. So anyway, so let's run this through and see what we got. Okay, so all we're doing here is we're just cutting off that easy edge, or that rounded over edge. I'm going to turn this around, set the saw a little bit different, and or a little bit smaller, and then cut off this other edge. I'll do that off camera. I'll cut off this edge. Now we're not trying to get a perfect edge on here. The joiner is going to do that for us. So I'll just turn this around and cut that edge off, then we'll go over to the joiner. This is a little jointer, a little 4.5 inch jointer that actually it's not even yours, right? This is just
A buddy of mine let me borrow it.
Yeah, and this is obviously very old, but we did square it up. It's pretty darn square. You want to make sure that everything is pretty squared up. The blade, the knife blades are pretty old. But we have tested this a little bit. Again, this is surfaces that you want to put your paste wax on, because you really want stuff to slide smooth through there. So what we'll do is we'll do this 2x4. We've got square edges on both the sides of the 2x4, and then we'll run both edges through there, and hopefully it'll give us a square edge. And then we'll do the 2x6s. We'll do those off camera, just like what we've done here. Then we'll go to the bench and we'll see if everything matches up. Here we go. Okay, so I forgot, guys, we almost ran them through the jointer. Ryan caught me just in time. I was jumping ahead. what we really want to do to make sure that we've got a perfect 90 degree angle.
Yeah, something like that. That's perfect.
Yeah, like that. We want that 90 degree angle. We got to run it through our a planer, and that's a skip that that is a
Step.
step that I've been skipping for years, and that just made a huge difference. So Ryan's got one of these little Bauer planers. Actually, it's a really neat little machine. So let's run this through the planer. So this has got my 2 edges. I haven't run this through the joiner yet. Sorry about all of the noise, guys. We got yard work going on around here. You guys know, we got stuff happens. I want to run it through the planer first before I run the joiner. So this is just table saw cut right now. Here we go. Alright guys, so that ensures we've got a good 90 degree angle on there, or we've got a good flat top and bottom. Now we'll go over, and we know this is nice and flat, there's no cup in there. We'll go over now to the joiner and we'll get our good 90 degree angle. So meet us at the joiner. Now we've run it through the planer, and we've got a good top and bottom. Now we should have a good, we've checked this, we should be able to get a good nice 90 degree on the on both edges. Here we go. So you saw I ran that through multiple times because it looked to me like it didn't quite take all of the saw marks off. We still actually got a few saw marks on there. So I might run that through a couple more times. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that off camera. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the 6-inch boards, get those squared up, and then we'll come back and we'll see how they fit together. Okay guys, so here's what we ended up with. We got 3 pieces, 2 2x6s and 1 2x4 in the center there. And we came up with it. We actually have a pretty good seam there. I think it could be better. Ryan's jointer really is not optimal. I think we'll need to get him upgraded with a better jointer eventually. But actually, we've got these little bar clamps on here right now. Actually have a pretty good gap in there. There's a little bit right in this area right there. There's a little bit of a gap, but not really very bad. Everything else is a pretty good seam, and we'll come back. We'll get the clamps, the bar clamps set up. We'll come back. We'll get this thing glued up. We have got our clamps set up, and Ryan's filming here. So if you'll notice, I put my clamps up on 2x4s because when I get these together, I want to, on the seams, I want to use my little clamps to make sure that that middle board doesn't drift on me. So we've got little long cauls covered with packing tape so that we've got that covered. I'm going to go ahead and just slap some glue on there. Again, guys, you know, this is maybe kind of a repeat of stuff I've done before, but we thought that, you know, let's go ahead and film it anyway. And I may put across the screen some other videos of glue ups that I've done. It's again, I think the biggest part of doing this is preparation, making sure that you've got everything prepped. Anything that could go wrong, just kind of be ready for it.
I got a question, Dad.
Yep.
Is it possible to use too much glue? Because this side, this one, and this one are going to be out facing each other, right?
Right. In my opinion, I'd rather have too much glue than not enough. Normally, I use a little, you know, the little brushes or a roller to spread this glue around. In this particular instance, I don't have that, but I got gloves. So in my opinion, no, you can't use too much glue because, you know, the squeeze out will just end up on the table. And in my opinion, buying a little extra glue is much better than, you know what I'm going to do here so I can get my hand in there without... Oh, there goes a glue ball. See? And fortunately, it's kind of a chilly morning over here, so this glue is not setting up super fast. In the heat of the summer, you might not have this much work time before that stuff starts getting a skin on it. But yeah, to answer your question, I would rather spend a few more cents on glue than I would... having gaps in there because I didn't have enough glue.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing with spreading it around and making sure every square inch is covered with glue and you're not missing anything. Fortunately, the squeeze out that will happen because we've got a lot of glue on there. You know, I honestly, am I a professional at this? No, not really. I just make it work. I'm sure there's some woodworkers out there that have opinions on glue, on using too much glue, and hey, whatever works for you. If it works for you, not using that much glue, great. You know, that's fine. With me, I would rather have a lot of glue, and this is what kind of works for me. So let's move that up. Now these clamps that Ryan has...
Dad is not impressed with my tool selection.
I think they like came free in a box of Cracker Jacks or something. I'm not sure. But I'm working with what I got. So I like my Bessie clamps pretty well. But those bar clamps that some of the woodworkers have are really cool. All right, so let's just get that kind of closed up and somewhat even at the ends. And then we're going to put our cauls on there. Oh, you know, that's what we didn't do. We didn't have these. See, just when I think I got everything prepared,
Didn't have them what?
Well, I need some more of these clamps here.
I got more over there.
Yeah, I know, but I should have had them over here on the bench. That's what I was referring to.
Ah.
I'm just gonna kind of snug that up. Where they at? Oh, there they
Right
are.
here. Sorry for my garage, you guys.
I like these a little bit better. These are good for, you know, certain things, but I like these. You can really get a lot more pressure with these things. These actually are pretty good clamps. I think these
Those are the Harbor Freight ones.
Harbor Freight ones,
Yeah.
and the plastic versions of these are junk. But these, actually, I do like these. I use these on a regular basis. I have a whole collection of those. But the plastic versions of them.
So you're putting the clamps directly on the seams to make sure that they stay even then.
That's my hope, yeah.
That's the
And
goal.
you know, we talked about the difference when I do this. Sometimes I have little blocks here, but actually this was Ryan's idea to use the bigger cauls like this to go all the way across. I think it's actually a better idea. I think I'm gonna switch over when I do glue ups and make some bigger cauls like this.
I'm an innovator, Dad.
Yep, you're an idea guy.
A trailblazer.
All right, so let's cinch this thing up.
Okay. You got it?
Yep, I got it. We'll cinch these down. And again, you know, I'm sure there's some people out there that say, you know, you don't want to tighten these up too much. I tighten them up pretty much as tight as I can get them. All right, there it is. There's that. Now, we'll put one more clamp somewhere around the center here. And you know what? Here's another, see how I did that?
Yeah.
Here's another idea that people have given me and I always seem to forget, is to cover these things with packing tape, or I think you could even like cover them with the paste wax like I do. I love that paste wax stuff. But I always seem to forget that. I don't know why. You'd think after doing a few of these glue ups, I would have that stuff figured out.
I guess.
So we've got a pretty good match there. This one is almost perfect. We've got a little bit of a mismatch there, but that ain't gonna hurt anything. It's gonna sand down just fine. So I'm pretty happy with that. We've got squeeze out all the way, and that's what really counts. So that's a nice match there. That's a perfect match. I think that's pretty good. I think that is good. So what we're gonna do, since we're sitting here, what we're gonna do, we'll just keep rolling with it. We're gonna use the Star Bond, and we don't have any accelerator. I should have brought some over from California. We don't have any accelerator, but we wanna stabilize these little knots. So this is the thick Star Bond, and you guys know that I am a big proponent of the Star Bond. I just love this stuff. I just think it's the best thing since sliced bread.
I've used that on quite a few things, and
I use it all the time.
yeah, it really is good stuff.
Yeah, I've got my light stuck on my router with this. I use this stuff all the time. So yeah, we have that one, but that one, you know what? That one I'm actually gonna fill with putty. And my goal, like I was telling Ryan, with that one, let me fit in a slot here. With that one, hopefully when he lays this thing out, he can fill that with putty and have it in a background somewhere so it'll be black. That would be the goal, if at all possible. So he'll be aware of that when he lays this thing out. But anyway, guys, that is about it. Again, thank you, Star Bond. Love your product. If you guys need to buy some of this, you can go to starbond.com and put in make a wood sign, and I think it's 10% off that you'll get when you go to buy any of the Star Bond products off their website. They're they're about the only sponsor I got, really, which is fine. I don't need a lot of sponsors, but I love this stuff. So thank you again, Star Bond. Appreciate it. Let me set this aside. Let's, I think that's about it.
That's it. We're good.
We'll close it up. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope this was helpful. Obviously, as always, email me directly, eric@makeawoodsign.com. I'll put my email across the screen here somewhere. Thank you to my son for letting me come over and play for a little while. I can't wait for the day that we get to do this all the time. Anyway, guys, we love you. If you haven't subscribed yet, we'd love for you to subscribe. And don't forget to click that little bell icon, because we do 4 new videos every week. And email me if you have questions, and we'll see you on the next video. Love you guys. See you later. Bye-bye.